Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you would never ask. It is Wednesday, the 9th day of June. It's National Earl Day. So if you know somebody with the name Earl, today's the day to celebrate them. My grandfather's name was Earl.
Okay, I was just going to say, I don't know anybody named Earl, but
You
yes,
knew
I
him,
did.
But he's been gone a while now.
Yeah.
National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day is today, which sounds pretty darn specific.
I do love strawberry
Not
rhubarb,
just Pie Day.
though.
It's National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day, and Heidi's got a great recipe for that.
I do.
And National Donald Duck Day. So today's the day to celebrate.
Okay.
And you know what I say every year?
What's his middle name?
Yeah, Fauntleroy. Donald
Yes, it
Fauntleroy
is.
Duck. That was a trivia question back in the day when you could do trivia. Nowadays, the internet's ruined that because like every trivia question, people can answer in like 2 minutes because they just look it up. But that was one that I had for like 2 weeks. Nobody knew the answer. It was a great trivia question. I've got a guest joining me today, and I'm absolutely fascinated with the topic that we're going to talk about. Markshaw is his name. He's an author, had several best-selling books. The newest is called Collateral Damage, The Mysterious Deaths of Marilyn Monroe, JFK, and Dorothy Kilgallen, and the ties that bind them to Robert Kennedy. Fascinating topic. Excited to chat with him coming up in a bit.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Researchers from the Edith Cowan University say eating at least two daily servings of fruit every day can cut your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 36%. 2 daily servings of fruit. That's pretty cool.
Huh.
I mean,
I like fruit.
I do too. Problem is I usually get mine in the form of Starburst or fruit roll-ups, and I don't think that really counts. So, yeah, real fruit, I think, is what they're talking about. Also, we've got another study here. It's a poll, actually. A new poll shows nearly half of Americans believe dinosaurs still exist in some portion of the world somewhere. So I think what they're talking about would be like deep-sea creatures, like down... Because I don't... Do they think that, like, Tyrannosaurus rexes?
I have no idea.
Brontosauruses?
Brontosauruses?
Brontosaurusi? I don't know how you say it. But I don't know. That's nearly half of Americans.
Brontosaurin.
Is that what it is? Either way. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A drunk man who couldn't resist picking up an ornamental flamingo from somebody's garden and taking it home with him has now seen the error of his ways. In a heartwarming tale of rehabilitation, the embarrassed bird burglar knocked on the victim's door, handed back the flamingo, saying he couldn't actually remember taking it, but he was very sorry. The incident was captured on camera. The man took the bird from the yard while smoking a cigarette. This happened in Scotland, by the way. The video went viral. Over 60,000 people saw this. It was a daylight theft. It happened during the day. One of the culprit's relatives actually showed him the video and said, "Hey, that's you." And he's like, "Oh, wow." So there was a knock at the door, very embarrassed man holding a missing flamingo. And Corrine Reitman, who had probably been wondering what happened exactly, said the guy was very apologetic, said, "I don't remember stealing the bird. I was very drunk, and I'm very, very sorry."
In the middle of the day.
Stolen bird
Broad
is
daylight.
now back in the garden where it belongs. And hopefully this guy gets the help he needs. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Mariah Carey is in the news. She revealed a few weeks ago on Instagram that she once made a, quote, sad attempt at looking like Rachel from Friends. So, now Mariah Carey, back when Friends was popular, Mariah Carey was like a sex symbol of her own.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to look like Rachel
Well,
for whatever
the haircut.
reason. Oh, okay.
Because
Maybe
that
that's what it was.
hairstyle was like
Was that a thing?
crazy popular. Yeah.
And other Friends news, which is weird because we haven't had Friends news for like a decade.
Right.
All of a sudden, David Schwimmer has revealed that he had a, quote, major crush on Jennifer Aniston while filming the first season of Friends. And Jennifer said she also had similar feelings for Schwimmer, but they didn't tell each other back then. So here it is all these years later, and like, oh, hey, I really liked you. And he's like, I really liked you too.
Should always say something.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You
I
never
gave
know.
that advice to our son, and that kind of backfired. So,
But-
and it's been announced that Kelly Clarkson is going to take over the spot that was the Ellen Show. So when the Ellen Show goes away, that'll be the Kelly Clarkson Show that'll kind of take over that space. So,
But back to saying something,
Yeah.
it's better to know
Yeah.
than to always wonder, because
that's
it
true.
could turn out the other way. And
Exactly.
instead of wasting your whole life away wondering, should I have said something? It's better
Yeah,
to just say it. It's
probably.
like a Band-Aid. Rip it off. Just do
there
it.
you go. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of RadioSavings.com. Government insiders. I love it when they say that because that means nothing. Who is that? They're not saying who it is. They're just saying, hey, somebody from the government, wink, wink, says the Pentagon's UFO report may be cover for a hypersonic weapon from the Cold War between the U.S. and China. So they're saying that, all this UFO stuff, because we're hearing a lot lately about
Yeah, we are.
UFO,
Yeah.
all this UFO stuff. They're going, yeah, they're saying that so they can take out their little toys and play with them. And everybody goes, oh, hey, I think I saw a UFO. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. I just don't. A new report claims that during landscaping construction, workers discovered bones just yards away from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's house. But they're saying they're very old bones. So it's not like, oh, hey, Prince,
Well, nobody-
they
I don't
did
think
something. No, they're
anybody's
just
thought
going,
of
well,
that.
they were doing landscaping. They're like, oh, hey, we found some really old bones.
Human remains?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Police in Washington State posted video of officers chasing down a cougar. And for those of you wondering, yes, the cat type of cougar, not a lady.
Right.
I don't understand why they refer to women, that as a cougar. Does that make any sense to you?
I don't know.
I never understood why that was the word we used. Major airlines are suspending alcohol service after a rise in flight problems on commercial flights where there are people like fighting each other and hitting each other, and it's gotten really bad. And a woman who was rescued from a Florida storm drain back in March was just recently rescued from another storm drain in Texas.
We talked about
we
this
talked a little
one.
bit about that, but that was just
So bizarre.
very bizarre story. And one final story here. West Virginians who get a COVID-19 vaccine will be entered into a drawing to win prizes.
There's just something wrong with that
But
whole thing.
The
I'm
thing that's
sorry.
interesting, in a very West Virginian style, one of the things, some of the prizes are custom firearms, which I think is
Well,
kind of
that's
cool.
awesome.
And then also $1 million. So that's who wouldn't want to win? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with best-selling author Markshaw. He's got a new book out. It's called Collateral Damage. How are you doing, sir?
I'm just fine, thanks.
Now, this is not the first book on this topic, but this one kind of dives deeper on the topic, and it has to do with Marilyn Monroe, and it has to do with the Kennedys, and it's something that a lot of people are fascinated about. How did you first get on this trail and go down this path yourself?
Well, thank you, John. I really wasn't going to write this book. I'd written the bestseller, The Reporter Who Knew Too Much, about Dorothy Kilgallen's investigation of the JFK assassination and all of that, and a book about Joe Kennedy and the 60 election and everything. I was going to quit, but so many of my supporters around the world and all of that kept asking, is there a connection between the deaths of Marilyn Monroe and Dorothy Kilgallen? Now, we might remember that my three subjects in the book died within 40 months of each other. Marilyn, August 62, JFK, November 63, Dorothy, November 65. So I started looking into Marilyn and Dorothy, and I was amazed because the first thing I found, I didn't know if there would be a connection, but there was, because they were good friends. Marilyn had been to Dorothy's home for parties. Dorothy had written about her and her incredible film career and all those kinds of things, and praised her and all this kind of stuff. And so that got me going. Basically, what I've tried to do here is to resolve 3 true crime murder mysteries. But that began with that relationship that I found between Marilyn and Dorothy. So she wrote about her before she died, that Marilyn was in good spirits. She had a new man in her life that was bigger name than Joe DiMaggio, who she had been married to. And right away, I thought that was Jack Kennedy, because many people remember her singing Happy Birthday to Jack Kennedy, and then they had an affair. But that affair was short-lived. And so then I got to thinking, well, what about this situation? Could she have then had a relationship with Bobby Kennedy? And very shortly thereafter, I found document after document authenticating the relationship between both Marilyn and Bobby, and this happening after JFK had basically dumped her. So I found that Bobby was in L.A., and he was with Marilyn both at her home and at a beachfront cottage owned by Peter Lawford. That they had this torrid love affair. I mean, there's a CIA document. Robert Kennedy has been having a romance, a sexual affair over a period of time with Robert Kennedy. Marilyn was. So all of that led me to believe, okay, what happened? Well, if you can believe this, Marilyn believed Robert Kennedy was going to divorce Ethel and marry Marilyn. Now, that may seem a stretch to people, but Marilyn was looking for love, and this is what happened. And she believed him. Well, all of that was in good shape until just at the end of July. And the week before, basically, Bobby Kennedy kept saying, hey, I'm not going to divorce Ethel. And basically, then Marilyn believed, after an event that took place at a hotel up near the California-Nevada border, that, she was being used like a piece of meat, as she said, by the Kennedys. So she got very upset. She screamed. She tried to get DiMaggio to come get her from that event. She went back to Los Angeles, but before she did, she made a great mistake, although one she was, that she felt was valid. She said, in this particular CIA document, she said, the subject threatened to hold a press conference and tell all. Well, that, John, would have been about the love affairs, exposing them. That would have been bad enough for the Kennedys. But in that document, it also said the subject, Marilyn, has made references to bases in Cuba and knew of the president's plan to kill Castro. These are matters of national security.
Yeah.
And if she would have had a press conference and exposed those, that would have destroyed both of the Kennedys that happened. So obviously, if Marilyn did not commit suicide, and I use forensics and the fact that originally they called it an overdose, and went into all the aspects of her death and her mental capacity at that time, that she was doing really well except for Bobby Kennedy, proving that she did not commit suicide, well, then it was murder. And if it was murder, who had the motive to have silenced her? So again, using all of these documents, these CIA documents and others, I was able to show that it was Bobby Kennedy, because he could not let Marilyn Monroe hold that press conference. And to that effect, I found out that he was in L.A. on the day that she died. He and Peter Lawford went over to her home, begged her not to go to the press. She refused. And the moment I think that she refused, as one competent witness told me, she was dead. And in the book, I have proven exactly how her death was orchestrated by operatives of Bobby Kennedy.
Mark, thank you so much for your time today. The book is available now. It's called Collateral Damage. I've got a link to all of the info in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There's a country where twins are more likely to be born. I don't know how you say it exactly. Benin, Benin. Have you ever heard of this country?
No.
It's in Central Africa. It's noted for having the highest birth rate of twins anywhere in the world.
Huh.
The average, by the way, is 13 twins per 1,000 births. Well, in this country, it's double that, a little over, nearly 30 twins per 1,000 births. And there is no single factor that causes this.
Must be something in the water.
They say part of it's genetics, diet, and even the mother's height are thought to play a role in whether or not you're going to have twins.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but now you do, because it's today's fun fact. And now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, RadioTravelGroup.com presents a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Zambia. A terrifying video captured moments of a raging hippopotamus chasing tourists on the Zambezi River in Zambia. It's gone viral. Can you imagine just kind of hanging out by the river and then all of a sudden a giant hippopotamus is chasing you? So
Those things are dangerous. I mean, they look like they're super cute, but
I don't know what
they're deadly.
Upset this hippopotamus, but he did not seem happy. I've got a link to the video in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Things are kind of getting back to normal in the sporting world because now a lot of fans are actually going out to games again, and we get stories like this. Dodgers fans came ready to fight in a Houston game. A wild brawl broke out at the Minute Maid Park last week when a Dodgers couple took on Astro duo in their seats. So there's a video that's gone viral. Onlookers kind of shot this video. And you see the Dodgers fans and the Astros fans. Now, I got to just pause for a moment and say, we're not sports fans.
Gee, couldn't tell by the way you flawlessly read that.
We don't know anything about any of this stuff. But apparently there's some sort of rivalry because it talks about the Dodgers-Astros 2017 World Series. So, again, I don't even know what that is. But apparently, I know that's a game. But I'm just saying, there was a lot of yelling, people shouting, and a lot of fighting. And if you want to see the video, I've got a link to it. And I think I'm going to just bail out of this story now. As I'm reading some of the details here, it doesn't sound that great. But people were kind of going nuts, we'll put it that way. And it is today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Now your moment of duh, brought to you by RadioSavings.com. An unhinged traveler had a meltdown on an Italy-bound flight over the mask policy, pulling the hair of fellow passengers and spitting on other passengers.
Oh, that's
Somebody
a bit much.
Caught this on video. The woman, believed to be Italian, was caught on video by fellow passengers on this flight. She's seen wearing a mask, but is uselessly covering. She had it just like on her chin. Anyway, the flight crew asked her, hey, can you please pull that up? Turned into a big thing. And they had to, they landed normally. Police removed this individual. Now it's a local matter for the police. But as she was being dragged off the plane, she was whining that she was frustrated and unlucky and threatened legal consequences for anybody who shared that video with other people. Well, the video's flying all over the place, so I don't know that there's any legal consequences.
No, there's nothing she can do.
If you act like a lunatic and somebody caught you on film,
Yeah.
it's kind of your own fault. It's definitely today's moment of duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, But I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by Time for Rehab.com. Heidi is smiling right now because she's not done the greatest on this.
I haven't.
I think you got it today. I think you got it. All right, here we go.
see.
Canyon Crossing, Prescott, Arizona. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center?
I'm going to say it's a golf course.
Oh, man.
Are you kidding?
It's a rehab center.
I'm so sick of this game.
It is a fun game. And I got to tell you, people are loving the fact that you keep getting it wrong. I've had people ask me, is this a setup? Are you guys really... How does she guess that many that wrong? I'm like, I don't know. It's a talent. It's a knack. I don't know. That is how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by Time4Rehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. I think this is a really cool idea. Trials have begun on a breath mint that rebuilds tooth enamel and whitens teeth.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that a cool idea? Researchers are working on this breath mint that would rebuild your tooth enamel while it whitens your teeth. Human teeth consist of pulp, dentin, cementium, and enamel. Enamel is the strongest and the hardest of all of the components. It consists of hydroxylite crystals and a form of calcium phosphate. I don't know if I said any of those words right.
That is such a great idea.
Researchers in Washington created a lozenge that contains genetically engineered peptide, or a chain of amino acids, for those of you who don't know what that is, along with phosphorus and calcium ions. I'm speaking way over my level here, by the way. But they say it's derived from an amalgam. I'm going to just skip to the end here. They got some really smart folks working on a really smart thing. That this new enamel produced by the lozenge is whiter than what most tooth whitening strips or gels would produce. So when you're having this, it would coat your teeth with like a new enamel surface.
That is such a great idea.
Yeah. So they say it has another advantage over conventional tooth whitening. That relies on hydrogen peroxide, a bleaching agent that can weaken your teeth.
Right.
But they say this actually strengthens and rebuilds the teeth. So I don't know how they came up with this plan, but it's a cool idea. They say they've already tested the lozenge on extracted teeth from humans, from pigs, and from rats. So if you've got a rat with, teeth that need to be whitened, apparently they can help. But they're launching clinical trials right now. It says that we have 3 objectives in the clinical trials. First, demonstrate efficacy. A second, documentation. Third, benchmarking. Seeing how the whitening effect compares to existing commercial treatments. They should have... more information later this year. I think that's really cool.
And making sure that they're safe, hopefully.
Yeah, that was not on the list.
It was not on the list. It's a concern.
Can we put that as number 1? All right, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.